this video, we're going to show you how to install the rear quarter panel on the driver's side. It is the driver's side, but we're actually going to show you like it is on the passenger side without the charge port. Of course, it's a lot easier with the charge port there since it opens up. So right now, I'm just going to have it on car wash mode so it doesn't open up. But let's go ahead and wipe it down. If you notice, I actually have a green tape just in the bottom portion of the door. I am going to be using this apex right here as an alignment point, so we don't actually want to cover all of it up. But this will make sure that it doesn't really stick to this area because we're going to have that edge that folds over all the way. So there's no removal required for this panel, but make sure you're really focusing on the edge as well. So I already got my edges clean. I want to go ahead and open this up as well. Okay. I guess not. All right, and then one for the edges, you could actually get the pink squeegee, or you could get your squeegee right here. Just make sure you get all the edges right here. You want to get all the edges right here, or open the door. And then of course, the edge right here as well. That goes all the way up there. Okay. Once you're good, you're ready to go, we can go ahead and get started. And here we go. So I got my piece right here. And we're really proud about this particular design that we did. The reason being is this is actually not an easy panel, mainly because it has this really big curve. The goal, the most important thing is this first section that we're putting down is flat. If you don't have it flat, you're going to struggle a lot and you're going to create a lot of fingers all throughout. Okay, so I just want to stress how important it is to make sure that it is completely flat. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, look for my squeegee. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is first off is this corner right here. So remember, I'm holding it down. And if you look, it's a very aggressive corner. So it's just going to go a little bit past like this. All right, so it's just going to go just a little bit. I have nothing peeled yet for now. Okay. I want it to go about here. All right, here's the point right here. There's an actual apex of this. This little, I guess like cutout is actually gonna go right in the middle of that. Okay, and that's why we didn't put the tape all the way. So if you look at this, I have it all flat down like this, and it goes right to here. Once you feel comfortable, and when you do this, it's flat. This is when you can peel this first section. You're just gonna go ahead and anchor it down like so. So you can see this is the alignment point right here. It cups around a little bit so that all the corner right here is completely good. So now that that's flat, we can go ahead and start peeling, right? And I like peeling it from this side, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and just slowly peel, just like so, okay? And that's okay. Here's the trick, guys. Completely flat. Look at that. So it's still sitting right there in the middle, or like roughly around that. But if you look at this is all really flat. There's not a whole lot of tension, and that's really all we're going for, is just that right there. All right, so once you're happy with this alignment point, you could actually just start kind of squeegeeing this out right here. I got my squeegee under me. And then we're gonna go ahead and anchor this edge down first, okay? There we go. All right, now that this edge is done, you could actually kind of pull this up a little bit. And then we can start squeegeeing up, just like that. And all you're doing is you're using this as basically some tension. You're not actually stretching anything. You're just gonna go side to side and get all this out of here, okay? And you can see no tension, really. I'm just kind of holding it, just making sure. And you want to go all the way until it flips over. And look at that, it naturally just kind of flips over like this. And this is where you can start peeling the next section, which is right here. Be careful right here. You want to hold this little tab. That's a very important tab, and you're going to hold this. And now you can actually pull this up. So now you pull this up, use your finger and go straight up. Okay, now we've separated it into two pieces. And I can use my squeegee, no tension whatsoever, no wrinkles whatsoever, and then that side is good. For this side, the main thing, guys, is not to bridge it, meaning if it's stuck here, you don't want to add unnecessary tension. What you're going to do is you're just going to work your way up, just like this. And as you get closer, you can just let go, and then look at that. Perfect edge all the way up here. And then now let's go ahead and get this done. And look at this. This looks phenomenal. I'm very, very happy with that edge. Okay, so this looks good. This corner looks good. This is good. This is still really good. Before I actually move on to the next section, you can see that there's some wrinkles right here. We're going to go ahead and get that out and just kind of figure that out before we actually move on. And what I want you to do is just use your fingers to kind of get it to that line right there. Okay, and now that we have it, there's actually 3 points right here. There's one right here, and then one right here. Okay, what I like to do is I kind of fold this like this, and I can start peeling like so. And then all the way, just like that. Put it away, and then just let it drape down very, very easily. Okay. Here's the thing right now, I'm not really worried about alignment or anything. Here's the first step. The main thing is let's go ahead and get this line. This is where that cut was, so I'm just gonna make sure that's good. In this case, I have a little bit of residue right here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that out. There we go. All right. All right, so here's the deal. This little flap right here, this is where it goes to this corner in the bottom. So you're gonna have to pull it down in that particular order. You could use heat, but you could actually cold stretch this. So you're gonna hold these ends right here. You're gonna create a vertical line. And then once you create a vertical line, you're happy with it, and it's right at that corner, you're gonna go ahead and tack this section right here. You see there's a line right here. That's exactly what we're trying to do. Once we create this vertical line, this is still loose, and you can see that I'm gonna go ahead and just start pulling this, and you're gonna go ahead and pull. Same thing here, you wanna use 2 hands. Just like that. I'm just gonna use my fingers right now to kind of get rid of some of this smaller fingers. Okay, and then let's get a squeegee right here. And then you can also, be afraid to also use some heat if you have to. So go ahead and use a little bit of heat. And massage it a little bit. There's a body line right here. So I'm just trying to get past that, okay? There we go. There we go. And bravo, look at that. So what you're trying to do now is we actually we got it all the way to this body line. You can go ahead and just continue to work your way down. If you notice, it actually worked out perfectly, and look at this line right here at the bottom edge as well. It's perfect. It's just a little bit below, which is exactly what we want to do. Since we're already here, let's go ahead and just remove this. This has perfect coverage. Get the line right here, and then on purpose, we have a little bit more material on this side because we do want to go a little bit more in than the other side. All right, so we got all of this. Think about this as a line. There should be an invisible line right here, and that's all we're gonna be focusing on. You can see if there's a little finger, you can pull it from this side as well. Okay, So now, if you look, there's going to be vertical fingers going this way. What it's telling us is we just need to pull a little bit this way. So that's all we're going to be doing now. We're going to actually loosen this up first. There we go. And then look at this. Just kind of do this. Divvy it up a little bit. That's all we're going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and anchor this down for now. And now, don't worry about the fingers here. All we're trying to get is glass above this. Some of these create vertical lines because we're pulling it. It's creating vertical lines there. We can actually just pull this just a little bit and should be able to get rid of that. So let's see if we can. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Okay. You see there's some bubbling going on. All you have to do is release. And then you see it kind of pop out. And then that's all we're trying to do. Okay. Like I said, we're not focusing on anywhere else but this body line right here. Okay, because that's going to be easier later on to do. All right, so now that we got all this done, we're going to go ahead and continue to move on. The deal is we have the rocker right here, and we just want to be able to just pull this down. You got a lot of play. You can actually move this around quite a bit. So this is the fun part. You can kind of take your time in terms of your adjustment, but I like right here for now. I get plenty right here in terms of, and then when it's pull this up just a little bit, so I get better coverage. And then same thing, if you notice, I like focusing on the line first, and then squeezing all this. Got plenty of edge right here. You could also adjust if you feel like you don't have enough. You can adjust that. Go ahead and peel this, and I got a seam right there. All right, so we got all the panel basically down now. The last part is this little section that we use as a tab. We're gonna go ahead, kind of push this down. Sometimes if you do see a line from the backing paper cut, what you can do is just heat it just ever so lightly. Just let it relax a little bit, and that should help. There you go. It's gone. And then we can go ahead and start squeezing all this down. Okay. Go in a sideways motion like this until you get to it, the end. Again, don't be afraid to use some heat. And boom, we got all of that. So now we have it completely done. We're gonna go ahead and start with the top, and then we're gonna work our way all the way. Like I said, we're gonna treat this like it's the other side and the charge port does not open. One thing that I will disclose is that the charge port is really tight at the top on this side, so we may have to MacGyver a little bit, but I wanted to show you how to tackle this because you don't wanna show a lot of red. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this. We're gonna go ahead and get started with post heating. This little corner right here, just gonna push that in, get really nice coverage, and then after that, just start pushing this in. This green tool is really great for all this coverage right here. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and heat this up. Look at this, zero tension right here whatsoever, which is really nice. This is why I made it so easy. Okay, before I get to the edge, I'm going to do the corner right here. Okay, boom, right here. All right, this is kind of the hard part actually. What we're going to do is go ahead and just grab a corner like this. I can use my green tool like this to basically pry this because it's sticking to the actual charge port or the plastic cover right here, okay? And what you want to do is we want to stretch this corner out a little bit, okay? And then we're going to heat it back, so don't worry too much about stretching. And it's a J cut, so it's less likely to rip than if it wasn't a J cut. And J cut is just basically just a kind of little like loopy cut. Okay, so all of that is open now. Like I said, what we're gonna do is just open this up. And then we're gonna go ahead and use this little edge right here. And we're gonna try to MacGyver it in. Like I said, this charge port is super tight at the top. Normally it's nowhere near this tight. But I'm gonna see if I could also kind of just move it around. But what you're doing is you're kind of stretching it, and then we're gonna heat it. Look at that. We're gonna heat it later and then get it back to normal. Right, so we got right here. I don't know why this charge port in particular is so tight. All right, but this is good. This is good. I can show you guys how I would handle this area. Basically just using this green tool and just tucking it all in. Okay, so I got my squeegee right here. See if I could kind of leverage it a little bit. And that's how you basically get it around that edge right there. And then after that, it gets easier, and then you can kind of push it in. So just to kind of show you guys, I want to see if I could, whoops, shouldn't have done that. But let me see if I could open this. Right, now that it's open, right, of course you don't have it open, but if it is, and if it's not, you can actually heat this up right here. So you're gonna go ahead and kind of see if you can grab this. So assuming you can't open it, there's a tool in your vinyl wrap toolkit. It looks something like this. And I like using the metal part, and you could kind of fish this out a little bit and then kind of do this, okay? And right now it looks really stretched out, right? But check this out. A little bit of heat, it reverts back all the way. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish this edge right here, finish this edge. By the way, you have about 2 minutes until the charge port closes. So if you are doing a charge port, that's all you have. Obviously you can open it again, but just a reminder. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use squeegee. We actually have it tapered off here because it actually does get a little lighter right there, and that looks phenomenal. All right, we're gonna continue to go our way all the way to the other side. So in this case, we're just gonna use a lot of heat right here. Just kind of push this corner, right? Pushed it a little bit too much. Okay. Actually, no, I didn't. There's an actual vinyl piece from when we were practicing, so that's why. That's not actually dirt, that's just vinyl. Okay, so you're just gonna shape it into that area. So you're gonna use some heat right here. Kind of shape my squeegee, and like that. You're just gonna push it all in. All right, so next part is the fun part. Just gonna go ahead, and there's a lot of space, guys, right here. Look at this. So that's all you're gonna do. Once you get around the bend right here, I definitely like using the green tool or the orange tool, and then you can kind of shape it again to fit that. But look at all that coverage, phenomenal. And then once you're back here, I like using the squeegee again. Just go ahead and push this down. Okay, and you gotta make sure you post heat this and heat all this area. There's a lot of give back here, so don't be afraid to kind of push it in. Look at that, there's a lot of space. There's actually clips all around here. All right, so now we're gonna continue to work our way. This one's an easy edge. Just go ahead and post heat all of this. And then we're gonna go ahead and fold this over. There's a big edge right here, so it shouldn't be an issue. Just kind of gradually do this. And then, all right, we got two more, actually just two more sections right here. This little tape, why we did this, is so that we can open this without any issues. Okay, so we got this completely open. We're gonna do the same thing. Go ahead and heat it up. All right, there's a little corner right here, so just make sure you heat that, and then you push this down. And once you do this, this is what it looks like. And that's pretty much it. That is how you do the rear quarter panel. It looks really good. All the edges are fantastic. No red showing anywhere else. That charge port as well from the outside looks fantastic. There's no red showing anywhere else. Just make sure you go ahead and remove this tape, and also do a post-it around all the area, and you should be good to go.